Have you ever noticed how much of your exhaustion comes not from what you are doing, but from the endless list of things you are still clutching to in your mind? And have you ever asked yourself whether the very sentence, I want, I need, I must have, has been the invisible leash pulling you through years of suffering? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we will open the Diamond Sutra through a different door, the practice of saying, with clarity and not despair, I don't want it anymore. At first, this phrase may sound like defeat. But in the Sutra's light, it is not resignation, it is liberation. So let go of the clinging, the hoarding, the desperate wanting, is to finally taste the healing that no external prize can offer. 2 promises for this journey. First, we will explore how letting go is not about neglecting life, but about meeting it with free hands. Second, we will see that every burden you refuse to put down keeps you from lifting what truly matters. By the end, you will have practical ways to turn I don't want it anymore into a daily medicine for the restless mind. The weight of wanting. Let's begin where suffering begins, with desire that hardens into demand. Wanting itself is not the problem. To want food when hungry, warmth when cold, company when lonely, that is natural. The pain begins when wanting turns into clinging. When you believe, if I don't get this, I cannot be whole. Think of a child grasping a toy. The tighter they squeeze, the less they enjoy it. The more they fear it will be taken. Adults do the same with money, reputation, relationships. We clutch, we hoard, we panic, and instead of enjoying, we suffer. One woman once told me she worked for 20 years to climb to an executive role. The day she arrived, she thought she would feel secure. Instead, she lay awake every night, terrified of losing it. Want had turned into a cage. You whispered eventually, I don't want it anymore. That did not mean she quit her job. It meant she stopped letting the job own her sleep, her breath, or worth. The moment she said those words, healing began. The Diamond Sutra's voice. The Diamond Sutra says, all things with form are illusory. Do not cling to them. Do not grasp even at merit, even at wisdom. Too good, but do not want the doing. But do not clutch the identity of the giver. I don't want it anymore. It is simply another way of saying, I refuse to chain myself to illusions. It is not indifference to life. It is reverence for life without shackles. What happens when you release? When you release clinging, free healings unfold. Healing of space. Suddenly your breath deepens, your chest softens, your schedule clears. You realize half your exhaustion was carrying imaginary weights. The healing of clarity. Without the fog of desperate wanting, you see what is real and what is nice. Decisions simplify, and fusion thins. The healing of life. With open hands, you can finally hold others gently, without using them as tools for your own hunger. Relationships shift from transaction to presence. Everyday examples of letting go. Imagine you are scrolling through social media. Wave of envy rises. They have what I want. Your stomach tightens. Normally, you would keep scrolling, feeding the hunger. Instead, you pause and whisper, I don't want it anymore. You do not mean you will never enjoy good things. You mean you refuse to let envy dictate your peace. That moment is healing. Another C. You are arguing with your partner. The urge to win, to prove yourself right, is burning. You pause, breathe, and say inwardly, I don't want to win anymore. I want to understand. The argument softens. Healing enters. One more. You are at work, clinging to the image of being flawless. You catch yourself correcting tiny details at 2 a.m., not for quality but for fear of judgment. You whisper, I don't want to be perfect anymore. I want to be real. You sleep. That is healing. Story of transformation. Let me share Daniel's story. Daniel was a musician chasing fame. He believed only when recognized would he be free. He chased gigs, begged for attention, measured himself against peers. One night, overwhelmed by anxiety, he collapsed backstage. Mentor sat with him and said gently, perhaps the song you most need to sing is the one that says, I don't want it anymore. Daniel resisted at first, but slowly, he began to test it. He let go of one audition that filled him with dread. He let go of the habit of checking numbers online. You let go of competing with peers. At first he felt naked, and he felt light. You realized music was always what he loved, but the clinging to recognition had strangled it. His career did not vanish, it became more authentic. Audiences felt his freedom. And paradoxically, he grew more successful. But by then, he no longer wanted success as proof. He only wanted to play. That was his healing. To practice, I don't want it anymore. Identify the weight. Ask, what am I clutching that makes me tired? Is it approval, control, possessions, perfection? Whisper the phrase. Quietly say, I don't want it anymore, not as self-pity, but as release. Shh is the real want. Beneath every false want lies a true one. I don't want to win the argument anymore. Want connection. I don't want endless possessions anymore. Want simplicity. Act on the new want. Take one small step that honors the deeper need. Send a kind message. Clean a drawer. Rest without apology. The fear of letting go. Many resist this practice because they fear that without wanting, life will be empty. But look closely, the deepest choices. Light on skin. Laughter with a friend. A song that stirs your heart. REV when you are not clutching. Arrive freely. The less you want, the more room you have to receive. Closing reflection. So tonight, ask yourself, what are you still gripping with white knuckles? What has owned your sleep, your breath, your peace? Can you whisper, I don't want it anymore, not to abandon life, but to step back into it with freedom? Perhaps it is the need to prove yourself. Perhaps it is the fantasy of being perfect. Perhaps it is the endless chase of possessions. Whatever it is, set it down. Walk a little lighter. Feel how healing begins the moment the leash slips from your hand. And invite you to share in the comments. What burden are you ready to say I don't want it anymore to? Let us witness each other's release and remind each other that freedom is possible. And if this conversation opens space in you, please like, subscribe, and support the channel. Together we can keep exploring how the wisdom of ancient sutras heals modern hearts. Thank you for watching this video.
Before you leave, here's something special. In Buddhism, we believe that every encounter carries a deeper meaning. Would you like to discover your true soul connection, the one written into your destiny? Take the Soulmate Test today and unveil the hidden truths of your journey. Click the link below and begin your path now.
http://soulmate. You wisdom more, come, white.